What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and this one we're going to do a in the flesh interview with a current student of Agency U, member of Agency U, however we want to call it, Cameron. Cameron, welcome.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell people who are watching a little bit about
Make their complex products easy for the general consumer base to understand.
Nice, you nailed that. Sick. Well, we've been working together for like a year and a half, I think, over the course of quite some time, just within Agency U. So what made like you interested in Agency U? Where was your business at a year and a half ago compared to where it is now from like a team size, revenue, all that stuff?
Yeah, so first I think I had had a couple other coaches and things like that in the past, and I felt like they didn't really fit me because they never ran a creative agency. So when I came across Agency U, I was really excited to get started because you and the rest of the team all have experience in creative agencies, and it gave me I felt like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the perfect fit because you guys can really cater your experience to what I'm going through. At that time, we had 2 full-time guys working. We all were kind of on the same level. We didn't have like an accountability chart or organizational chart. No one really knew what we were doing. We were kind of a jack of all trades for everything. And that it became problem over problem. And even though we were making just shy of $500,000, it was a sense of like, okay, well, things aren't organized. And when I hopped on the discovery call with you and kind of chat a little bit more about what you guys could do and how you could help, it was like a no-brainer to hop on.
Nice.
Yeah, and now we're a team of 7 full-time people, 16 contractors, and just under $1 million this year.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So almost doubled.
Yeah.
Wow, in a year. That's a lot of change, especially in the creative space when it's like there's so many moving parts, you know?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
you have so many people now, and like there's now having some structure, a little under $1 million, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think biggest thing is your guys' experience in general. Like, you and the team all have experience in creative agencies, and to be able to see the passion and the just overall transparent wanting to do better for everybody in Agency U, I think has definitely been a massive help because, the one-on-ones where you guys are able to actually like dive into what we're doing and like making it happen was super helpful. I mean, just within the first few weeks of getting started, you and the team helped me close $275,000 on a deal with a manufacturing company, and I went in there trying to figure it out, and you guys gave me all the tools that I needed to make it happen. So yeah, that along with being able to build out all the systems, and you guys kind of have a skeleton ready for us to be able to add our own personal flair to it to make it what we need to is awesome.
Yeah, $275,000 deal.
Yeah.
Crazy. And so when you sold that deal, are you doing everything for the client, or how did you even like structure that?
Yeah, so I mean, a big thing that you taught us is, essentially pricing for profit and pricing for delegation. So I'll probably still be on a few of the shoots, but I won't be shooting anything. It's more of just being there, show face for the client, right? But yeah,
You'll still make profit.
Yeah, 92% profit
92%
margin.
profit.
Yeah, so it's it was a really awesome opportunity, and we start on that project just in a couple weeks now. So really excited to jump into that, and definitely wouldn't have even been in a position to even have the confidence to pitch something like that, but then also the knowledge of saying, okay, well, before I even pitch this and what we're gonna do, I'm pricing it without me in the equation to make sure that we can deliver it, but also I can put my resources towards other places. And then the other aspect is just pricing for profit. Essentially making sure we're making money.
Probably you 3 years ago would have like priced that out, and then you would have just like done everything yourself, and then you'd have just been the same place.
Yeah, wouldn't have.
Just with no capacity, or burnt out, and then just burned out. So like a year and a half ago, sounds like you were doing everything. Like what was that like for you as like a creative, like doing everything yourself? Like what did that feel like for your livelihood and like your ambitions to grow a creative agency?
Yeah, no, I think it all kind of went from an aspect of trying to like figure out what I actually wanted for not only myself, but for the business. And I kind of have a little bit of a control complex. Like I want to have my hands on everything, make sure everything is good, because that's kind of, my name's on the door. I want to make sure that everything's good. And I think since kind of making that transition to, you're not going to be in the hustle, the day-to-day grind, and you kind of become a CEO and start managing people, has really been a nice mindset shift. I didn't realize, because I started the agency just off of my hobbies. I love taking videos, I love taking photos, and then monetize it. And then now I have more time to do things that I love. And I think that's a big thing, is you've enabled me to be able to build a foundational of a business that runs itself, and, to where, I can leave for a long extended period of times. Like I can still pop in and do whatever, but we have a team in place that's making everything run and all that.
I mean, you've been gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right now, you're in Seattle. We're not in North Carolina. No, that's sick. So going from you doing everything, feeling like you need to have control over everything, to now being able to take some time off. Seems like. What would you say to an agency owner that's that seems awesome, but I'm so in the weeds, and the clients trust me, and I'm busy all the time. What would you say to someone like that?
Yeah. I would kind of say figure out what you want, and if you want to be in the weeds and you want to be that one-man band or a small team and just always be at capacity, then do it. From my experience, it's not the best way to go. I'd say really just figure out where you want the company to be, and then reverse engineer it and make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. And then inside of agency, obviously there's a lot of different pillars, from offer to niching to sales to lead gen to operations to CEO mindset, all the different kind of pillars. When I mentioned that, what stands out the most to you that's been most helpful for you in your business from a growth perspective?
Yeah, I think definitely the structure aspect of making sure it's hey, I think just to kind of backtrack for a second, when I did decide to go from a freelancer to, starting a video production agency, it was more of I didn't want that corporate environment, right? I didn't want the feel of I am in charge of you and you're in charge of these people, because I thought it always had a negative connotation. Yeah, the hierarchy. I thought it had a negative connotation, but I think you opened up the door to show structures in place for a reason, and by having this and knowing who's accountable for what, you're not double dipping and doing the same jobs. And I think really that's ultimately what paved the way for success for us to really be able to identify our vision, our mission, core values, who we are as a company, and the type of people that we should be attracting, not only from a client aspect, but for talent as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So the operations, the systems and processes and stuff like that. What about like sales and financial gain? Anything stand out to you from that perspective that's been helpful for a sales perspective?
Yeah, I think being a video agency, we always say oh, we don't niche down because we can kind of do what we do for everybody. And even where we still do offer a lot, you helped us craft our core offer and our core messaging to make sure that, we could take on work if we want to, but we're really focused towards this core offer. And that was something that I never really knew would be a massive difference. But now what we're noticing is a lot more warm leads are coming in, because our messaging on our website's very clear. It's very direct towards somebody. Any type of top of funnel marketing or anything like that is getting people interested. It's very clear what we do, and there is no, does this guy shoot weddings? Do they do this? What do they do?
Real estate house tour?
Yeah, real estate. So it's very clear what we do, and I think that was a massive benefit from a sales aspect, because the less that you have to explain to somebody on a sales call and they already know, is just it's essentially okay, what are you trying to accomplish, and let's make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. What would you say to the agency maybe that's watching this, that wants to grow and scale? Maybe they're skeptical about buying into a program because they maybe have had a bad experience with a coach, or they don't want to invest because it's time and money, or they are just skeptical about the results that they could get. What would you say to them?
I would say think about all the lost opportunity that's on the table by not taking any action. I think of all people, I'm somebody that was kind of in that same boat, and because I had been burned from previous coaching experiences, that I didn't think of what I was doing wrong in that, right? Like it really came down to they were giving me the things that I needed, but I wasn't taking the action. And I would say it's like, unless you're ready to like fully invest in yourself and in your business, then there isn't a reason to do that, because you're just going to set yourself up for failure. And the more that you can take an opportunity like what Agency U is offering and take that and be able to grow your business, it's just going to help you tenfold.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then like, what do you think is like if I'm an agency owner watching this, like, what was the biggest high leverage activity for you to go from being a freelancer to a CEO and like getting out of the day to day and like feeling like you need to have control of everything? Like, what was that like for you?
Like specifically like the role of like switching?
Yeah, like what was the activity? Was it, oh, I'm gonna create these job descriptions, I'm gonna have these hard conversations, I'm gonna create an org chart, I'm gonna price per profit, I'm gonna price to delegate so I can see my team, like what?
I think the biggest thing was just understanding, like you said, like the job roles, and understanding like people are in a position to do something so that it frees up a lot more time. Like a prime example is my previous like career, I was a product manager, so I love project management, like love it. And I wasn't trusting my team to do that because there'd be little things that I would see here and there or whatever. And it really just came to, okay, well, there's no SOPs in place. I'm not teaching these people correctly on how to do these things. And then I'm not setting proper expectations. There's no, like when I say like, hey, you're not doing your job, well, there is nothing that says what my job is. Sure. So yeah, I would say like definitely like going through the first couple of weeks of like building those foundational core pieces to what our company is definitely like set us up for success and allowed me to really transition from that like day to day in the weeds to now being able to just like guide the ship in terms of a visionary perspective.
Yeah, I remember when we first started, you were like, oh, I like the like project management. Like I could just be like COO, or like I could just do like the COO stuff. Like, and I was like, bro, no.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do that. Like,
yeah, no, it's it's been a good change.
Yeah. Well, anything else that would be helpful for any agency that's watching this? Maybe just tips for them, or like investing in coaching just in general, or Agency U, or anything like that? That would be helpful.
I would say like first, it's like what's great about what Austin and the team has created is essentially a framework that is proven not only in what's happened with my agency, but multiple other people in the Agency U community. And you guys give the tools to be able to have like a skeleton essentially of like, this is what has worked for us, and then you're able to like pick and pull of like what actually makes sense for your business. And I think if somebody's looking like, I want to start fresh, I don't have anything in place, like it's practically a copy and paste for what you're offering. And you know, someone like me that came from a world of systems and building systems, you know, your mythology behind why these things are in place just makes so much sense. And if you are a creative agency or you know, somebody that wants to figure out how do I manage my people better? How do I 10x my profits? Like Austin and the team is definitely the way to go, because they've done it time and time again. They've done it with me. I mean, going from like being a freelancer, capping out at $212,000, and I was working 7 days a week, not giving time to myself or my family, to now being just shy of $1 million this year, just within a 2-year gap essentially, is quite insane to say the least, to be able to double the business year over year. And I mean, I'm just excited to see like where it goes from here.
What's next?
Yeah, I think the next part is, you know, dialing our sales and funnels and getting to a point where I can hire the sales and marketing team, and essentially I'm just the visionary that comes up with new ideas and has our team execute it.
Dope. And where can people that are watching or listening follow you, find you, check your agency out, make sure you're not just
Yeah, sure. So on Instagram, Cameron D. Stewart, and on all other socials, CDS Visuals is our agency.
Dope. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Cameron, for the kind words and giving your experience with everything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit us up anytime. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next video, guys. Cheers.